Hello friends, I am Manish Mershi, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government Dunga College, Bikaner. Today in this video, we will try to understand some of the figures of speech as onomatopoeia and hyperbole. First, I will discuss the figures of speech with some examples, and later on, we will see some of the exercises related to this. Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech in which the sound of the word expresses the meaning of the word. It refers to words whose pronunciation imitate the sounds they describe. For example, a dog's bark sounds like woof, so woof is an example of onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia can be used to describe the gears of machines working, the horn of a car honking, animals croaking or barking, or any number of other sounds. However, there are some sound words like munch, shy, or chew that are commonly mistaken for onomatopoeias, but they are not. Does the word munch really sounds like munching at all? Or do we just think so because that's what we call it? Does a shy really sounds like shy? People disagree about these meanings. Of course, if it works poetically, it doesn't really matter. But when you study literature, you should remember that words for sounds are not always onomatopoeia. Some of the most common examples of onomatopoeias are words for the sounds animals make. Dogs bark, roof, woof, uff, and howl. Cats meows, hiss, purr. Frogs croak, chirp, ribbit. Cows go, mow, horse neigh, and whinny. Lions roar, the rooster goes cock a doodle doo. The list of animal onomatopoeias goes on and on. All these are the very common examples of onomatopoeia. The hissing of the bees, the sound bees is there is the hissing in this word, so it is also an onomatopoeia. Another example of onomatopoeias are the sounds made by water: rain, pitter patters, drips, drop, and rat-a-tats on the tin roof. Creek, babble and churn, lake ripple, rivers rush, ocean crash, roar and thunder against the shore. The importance of using onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeias are a valuable way to describe sound, creating the actual sound in the reader's mind. This creates a vivid reading experience. For example, the wind howled, hissed, and whooshed is most expressive than the wind blew. Onomatopoeia can provide a poem or a prose passage with sound imagery and rhythm which express the mood of the work. Furthermore, it makes descriptions more powerful and gives a sense of reality when readers can hear sounds while reading words. Onomatopoeias provide readers with exciting, realistic, and evocative descriptions of sound in both poetry and prose. For example of onomatopoeia in poetry, we will read the poem The Bells by Ellen Edgar Poe. How they clang and clash and roar, what a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air, yet the ear it fully knows. By the twagging and the clagging, how the danger ebbs and flows, yet the ear distinctly tells, in the juggling and the wrangling, how the danger sinks and swells, by the sinking or the swelling in the anger of the bells of the bells. Edgar Allan Poe describes bell which clang, clash, roar, twag, jangle, wrangle, sink, and swell. Such strong description of their ringing serve to evoke feeling of horror, danger, and anger in this dramatic and airy stanza of his poem. Hyperbole is a figure of speech in which an author or speaker purposely and obviously exaggerates to an extreme. It is used for emphasis or as a way of making a description more creative and humorous. It is important to note that hyperbole is not meant to be taken literally. The audience knows it's an exaggeration. For example, that suitcase weighed a ton. In this example, the speaker claims that a suitcase weighed a ton, that is 2000 pounds. Of course, this does not mean that the suitcase literally weighed a ton. The speaker is using hyperbole in order to emphasize that the suitcase feels very heavy to the one who is lifting it. Another example of hyperbole is she is going to die of embarrassment. This does not mean that the girl is going to get sick or that her heart will stop due to embarrassment. Instead, the speaker is using hyperbole to emphasize just how embarrassed she is going to feel. Another example is spring break will never come. This example, like I haven't seen you in a million years, serves to emphasize how long a period of time feels. Sometimes, especially in school, it feels as if time has slowed down and vacation will never come. We know this isn't true, but we use hyperbole to communicate how things feel to us. Hyperbole is often used in day to day speech. For example, upon seeing your friend, often after a long absence, may say, I haven't seen you in a million years. You and your friend both know that this is not literally the case. Here, hyperbole is used to emphasize how long it feels since you last saw your friend. It uses exaggeration to emphasize a certain characteristic of something and especially how it feels. Hyperbolic can be used to communicate all kinds of feeling and amuse or surprise people with the creativity of a description. Hyperbole is also often used in creative writing just to make a description more amusing or creative. For example, it is more interesting to say she had a brain the size of planet than she was really smart. It is always better to describe something in an original way, and hyperbole is a great opportunity to inject feeling and humor into a description. The famous American poet W. H. Auden writes in As I Walked Out One Evening, I will love you, dear, I will love you, till China and Africa meet, and the river jumps over the mountain, and the salmon sing in the street. When will China and Africa meet? How can a river jump over a mountain? And when will Solomon be intelligent enough to sing or evolve enough to walk the streets? Of course, none of these things will happen. So it implies that the author will love her forever. W.H. Auden is using hyperbole to emphasize the strength of his love. Most of the poet who express the feeling of love uses hyperbole. So now you can also write some of the examples of onomatopoeia and some examples related to hyperbole and write into the comment box. And if there are any confusions or any queries related to these two terms, you can write in comment box or you can message me. I will try to explain them or to solve them. Thank you.